I'm ready. Good morning. This is Joe Lavalette. You're hopefully here for construction 3180, construction surveying and layout. So what I want to do is get you oriented and tell you exactly what's happening this semester, so we don't have to worry about miscommunication and glitches. Okay, so 3180 is a course that is dedicated to a two-part system. We have a lecture and a lab. Okay, the lecture, so it's Cons 3180. Lecture and lab. All of you are enrolled for the lecture, which is a community proposition. So you will be in one room together theoretically as 60 people. The lab is 2 sections, so you're in section 1 or in section 2. In the lab you're with 30 other students, so the class is divided in half. As of right now, we are scheduled to be in room U Hall 111 for lecture. That room has a capacity of 60 people. Unfortunately, with the COVID, we are now limited to 30 individuals in that room. We have a lecture that happens once a week. Therefore, if I took and alternated you into the classroom atmosphere, I would see you every 2 weeks. That doesn't work. So I've elected to go ahead and do the lecture with online videos. So we're going to make videos, and that's what we're doing right now, for all of the lectures throughout the semester. So the lecture themselves now, you're going to have a combination of 2 vehicles. I'm going to put them to you in the announcement section. So they're going to go into Canvas. And in that Canvas section, there is an announcement tab. And then that announcement tab, I am going to tell you exactly which videos you need. So you just have to hit the link, go to the video, listen to them. As far as the timing, the class starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to be required to be online at 8 o'clock in the morning. They'll be available to you. I'll either put them in the Monday evening before or first thing on Tuesday morning, since our lecture is on Tuesday. You'll have access to them. You go to them, you listen to them. If you want to replay them, you miss some things, it's your option. But they'll be available to you. So you got your discretion is when you do it. Just make sure you look at them, and if you have questions, note the questions and bring them to the lab, and I'll try to elaborate on them if I can. So the lecture portion is going to be online totally. I won't see you in the lecture atmosphere. You just have to go into Canvas on the day that the lecture happens, or the evening before in a lot of cases, and pull up the videos and look at them and make sure you understand them. Okay, the lab, of course, we have equipment, and the equipment is going to be used by all the students. One of the big things that our end users say is that they would need us to be able to measure things in various modes. We need to be able to use a level to determine vertical control, and we need to use the transit to figure out horizontal angles and horizontal control and a little bit of vertical. So we need to use equipment. Unfortunately, I have 5 sets of equipment. I have many tapes, but I only have 5. I got 6 levels actually, and I think I've got 6 transits. 5 that are really good. We use the 6 as a backup in case something goes wrong with one of the 5 that are in the field. So I got 5 pieces of equipment. So if I set up a piece of equipment, you've seen them sitting along the highway. They're on a tripod. if I put 6 of you around there, I don't know what we're going to do. The best we can do with a group is 3 or 4 individuals. So if we use 3 individuals, we need you there every time. So unfortunately, the lab is mandatory. If you miss, you are not going to be graded for that lab. You're going to be given a 0. Even if you participate in doing the report or the calculations, it doesn't matter. I need you there, and your group needs you there to gather the data. Without 3 people, it's very, very difficult, almost impossible at times, to gather the data. So the lecture, you'll be doing at home. The lab, we want you here. If you're not here, you're going to get a 0 for the lab assignment. So we've got 30 people in each section. So we've got section 1. We've got 30 people. Section 2 has got 30 people. Okay, we're going to take those 30 and we're going to bust them up into 2 groups. So in section 1, we will have A group and B group. And in section 2, we will have A group and B group. Okay, so you're either going to be in group 1A, section 1A, 1B, 2A, or 2B. You're going to be with 15 students. Okay, why I'm doing this? 15. The 5 pieces of equipment times 3 people is 15 students. So what we're going to do is we're going to alternate A and B. 1 week, A is going outside. B is going to be an in-lab project. The next week, B is going to do what A did the previous week outside, and A is going to do what B did last time. So we're just going to flip-flop. So out of the 15, A will be outside half of the time, inside half the time. B will be outside half the time, and they'll be in a sequence where when A's in, B will be out. So I will explain that more when we get together in the lab. This is going to be out and in, so the lab, part of it will be to the west or east side of the tech building. So we'll gather in the tech area, the tech store area. You'll grab your equipment, you go outside, you perform the necessary operations to gather the data required. You come back in, hand in your equipment, and then you've got a choice. You can either work on it together, the lab report gets staged, or if you want to meet at some other time, you'll be free to leave. So outside, we'll be in the tech area. Gather your equipment. I'll give you the assignment. You'll wander outside. You do whatever you have to do, and then return the equipment, and then either work as a group. You have 3 people together. We can get social distancing. This whole operation is going to have to take care of a lot of issues associated with university mandates. We've got to wear our masks, even though I'm not today. I've only got, Vijay's the only person in the room, and he's about 20 feet away from me. So in the lab, though, I will be wearing a mask. You will be wearing a mask. All social distancing, every mandate associated with university is going to be met. If you decide you don't like it, you probably shouldn't turn off your car, because you're going to be out of there. We just can't afford not to adhere to the mandates associated with university. Okay, so outside, the project, the lab project will be inside, and it is right now scheduled to be in U-Hall. It's U-Hall room 307, and if I'm reading this right, I've got a piece of paper here that tells me, I believe, I thought I wrote it down right here, but apparently I didn't. 60, I'm sure I've got it. We have a room that has a COVID max of 48 students. So room 307 in U Hall has a COVID max of 48 students. We're going to be putting 15 in that room. So we got plenty of room to spread out. We shouldn't have any issues with people on top of each other. We shouldn't have any issues of not being able to follow the mandates by the university. So the other 15 will be outside. So we got plenty of room out there. We'll be spread out. You'll each be doing your own thing. Depending on the lab, some of you will be doing exactly the same thing. Some of you will be doing tasks that are different and move from station to station. So that'll get us there. Canvas, as far as Canvas is concerned, I'm going to be using that pretty extensively, especially for the lecture and the project portion of the lab. I'll be sending those out to you via Canvas. You'll have access to them through Canvas. Every lab session will have a document that's produced that you'll need to turn in. If you're going outside and doing the field work, you use the field work to generate a report, a lab report. If you're doing the project is calculation based, so you'll need your support data for your calculations to hand in. And you'll be handing them in pairs every other week. So every other week you'll be handing a package to us, and that package will include one lab report per group and one project report per group. Okay? And then Vijay or I'll grade those, enter your grades into Canvas, and we ought to be in pretty good shape. Okay, tests will be online. Okay? They'll be administered through Canvas. You'll take the test. I will send you the test. It'll be given to you at the time that the test, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's the only 2 days that you'll have to be available at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll give you the test. It'll become available at 8 o'clock. I'll give you an hour and a half, probably an hour and 45 minutes, 15 for you doing the processing. You go into it. You can either, if you've got a printer, you can print it, or you can just view it online. You'll use either the test or your own paper. Do all the problems. Most of the students have elected to take photographs of their test and re-enter those and submit them back at the time appointed in the email. So if it's an hour and 45 minutes, you have to have them back into the system by 9:45, and then we'll grade them. And the tests I will hand back in the labs, so you'll have a physical hard copy of your test that's graded. They'll be given to you in lab. The exam will be online. Unfortunately, I don't hand exams back. That's the only vehicle that I've got that I can filter that don't end up in a file at the frat house or someplace where they're passed around and everybody has the test before I make it up. So that you won't get back, but the other is going to be fine. So Tuesdays, you'll have the tests on 2 dates, and if you look at the syllabi, so the syllabi is in 2 sections, section 1 and section 2. If you go to Canvas right now, actually, it's been in for a week or so, you will see 2 entries in the Files tab of Canvas. One of them has a section 1 syllabi, the other one has a section 2. If you look at the syllabi, I think I'll go through it quick. It's the only difference in the 2 is the date of the lab. Section 1 has a lab date of 11:30 till 2:20 on Tuesday. Section 1 is Tuesday. Section 2 is Thursday, same time, same venue. So you guys will be doing exactly the same thing on 2 different days and exact same time. Tuesday 11:30 to 2:20 and Thursday 11:30 to 2:20. Realistically, the lab will not last until 2:20. I'm going to tell you what to budget before the lab time-wise. Some of the labs take an hour and 15 minutes. Some take up to maybe 2 hours and maybe change, 2 hours and 5 minutes or so. So you'll probably be out of here at 1:30 just about all the time, and sometimes maybe even by 12:45 or so. So depends on the lab. Some of them take a little longer than others. So Tuesday and Thursday at 11:30, if you don't show up, you're not going to get a grade. So it's up to you. If you could take zeros and still pass the course, be my guest. Not too many people have been able to do that. So it's up to you. So the syllabus says lecture online is supposed to be in U Hall 111, but it's online, 8 to 9:20 on Tuesday. The labs, it tells you when. We're in a room that has ability to handle 48 students. We're going to put 15 students in it, so it should be fine. So it's a delivery method is hybrid, which is lecture online, lab face-to-face. It's got my name, Joe Lavalette. Out of the 60 that have enrolled, I went through the roll. That roll, I knew 40 of the names, so 2/3 of you I've had before or know through some vehicle. Some of you had me for 1010, construction 1010. If you had me for that, unfortunately, all you needed to do to get a good grade there is be able to breathe and have your heart pumping. Okay? Some of you had me for 2590, which is document reading. Your blood's got to be moving, and your brain's got to receive a little blood to get through that course. Unfortunately, in this course, your blood's got to be moving, it's got to get to your brain, and you've got to use your brain. If you think this is a 1010 or a 2590 course, you're going to get yourself in a pickle real fast. The biggest problem with this course is that it is math-based. Okay? There's a lot of calculations to surveying. Everybody thinks all you do is walk out, set up an instrument, and look through it and gather data. That is not the case. That's the easy part. The hard part is trying to figure out what you need, how to lay it out, and the mathematical exercises used to get to the point where you can use the instruments. So it's math-based. I'm going to go through that in a little bit. That's why you need Math 1230 as a prerequisite. So if you don't have the prerequisite, to be quite frank, I've never had anybody pass this course that hasn't had 1230. Carte blanche. It is one of the harder courses in our curriculum. Actually, a couple years ago, it was the most failed course in our program. So if you think surveying is just all playing and going out with instruments and farting around out in the field,